Life in Letters.
The presenting sponsor of My Life in Letters is sprayplanet.com. This is where you go to get everything MTN colors, be it 94, hardcore, whatever it is, go check them out. They're also the distributor of Crink products, Posca markers, and Grog inks. So go check out sprayplanet.com right now, order something, and go make your mark. But without further ado, let's get into this next episode. My Life in Letters. We're doing it again. And on the phone right now, a man I respect for so many different reasons. Been seeing his work for, my whole life, really. YES1, Sabe. Dude, it's an honor, man. And we're like super excited and blessed to have you on the phone today. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah. And actually, even more like the Yankees game is going on right now, and you're like taking time out of the Yankees game to talk to us. And that's even more great, man, that you'll like stop everything to talk to us.
For sure.
Yeah. So, you told me on the phone that you started writing in 83. And here's the thing, like I painted with you. I've been able to be around you a couple times, and I don't know much about your history at all. So, what we were talking about before the podcast, like I'm curious if there is some kind of a thing with lettering that before 83 that got you interested in just writing and maybe interested in words. Did you have an experience like that before graph?
When I was a little kid, I grew up in the projects in the South Bronx. Like there were tags like with Izzy, Bass, and those guys. And what really got me into graffiti was I used to walk down to a candy store, Tremont, right underneath the train. And there's always this guy sitting there in a crate with an Ebony Dukes a jacket on. I never knew who he was. And he always would look at me. So one day, he said, "Come here," and I started talking to him, and it ended up being Smiley 149, rest in peace. And I used to just forget about the video game, and he would, "Come on, kid, let's look at the train." So I would just look at the trains pass by, and I really liked what I saw, and I fell in love with it. And then, that's what really got me into graffiti.
So Smiley 149, that's crazy. Did you know him before that, or was that like the very first time you ever met him?
Yeah, well, the thing is that I lived in the project, so down the block was that video game Asteroids, which I love to play. And I would just walk. My mother would give me like 50 cents or 75 cents, and I'd go down and play the game and come back home. But I would always, for some reason, lock eyes with him and like look at him, "Oh, who's that dude?" And then one day he pulled me over. He said, "Come here, kid." And then we started looking at the trains. He showed me the train. And I was really, I really was intrigued by it.
Yeah. Where'd you guys go? Where'd you guys go to check out those trains that day?
Well, see, the thing is, from Tremont, it's like a little bend, and it goes down to 180th. So you can actually see the train when it pulls out from Tremont and it goes to 180th. So you can actually catch a glimpse of the pieces, back in the days that were on the cars.
And do you remember that day? Did Smiley did he start pointing stuff out to you? Did you already have an understanding of graffiti yet, or was it all totally brand new?
Well, it was not really, because my neighborhood was full of hip hop. Hip hop was starting, Michelle Gang, and all the old school, hip hop was, the jams in the park. You know what I mean? I was in the middle of everything. It's like the mecca of graffiti, if you think about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Jew Man was down the block. Everybody get the Adidas. You know what I mean? The old school way, the Lees. That style from back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And then do you remember as a little boy when you first were taking in all that stuff? Do you remember your understanding of it? Especially if it was all happening at once, hip hop and fashion and graffiti. Do you remember feelings that you had about it or emotions that you had about that?
You know what? Was kind of weird that it was just life. You know what I mean? It wasn't really a feeling. It was that's the way it was. You know what I mean? It's either you break dance, you did graffiti, or you sold drugs. You know what I mean? Back then it was the beginning of the crack era, and it was
right.
the South Bronx was in ruins, and it was nothing, man. It was that's the way it is. You know what I'm saying?
And I hear a lot about that time in the Bronx, and the Bronx is burning, just all that. I always wonder like how that affects you as a child. Like, I mean, was there like, were you nervous? Was there discomfort in growing up in that? Or when you say it was just life, was there also just, it was more happiness than anything else because you were a kid and you didn't have that many worries? What was it like being a kid in the South Bronx at that time?
You know what? Honestly, it was very free, man. It was a whole different time. You might like moms would walk us to school in the morning time. You know what I'm saying? And pick us up at 3 o'clock. At lunchtime, she'll come. All the mothers would get together and take the milks home. You know what I mean? And the apple juice and stuff like that.
Mm.
And then I remember when the government cheese came out, there was lines for that. It was a lot of fun, man. We did a lot of fun things, like manhunt in the projects. We used to play skelsies on the floor. You know what I'm saying? And it was like a fun time, man. We played baseball. We'll make bases out of a lamppost and a sewer. That's third base. That's first base.
Yeah.
Things like that. It was just like really genuine fun. Fun and parents were like really involved with other kids. Like my boy's pops could smack me and send me home. My father would be cool. You know what I mean? So it was that kind of it was that kind of time.
Yeah, different time, definitely.
Yeah.
And then you said it was 83 that you started writing, but was it 83 when you met up with Smiley and To Look at Trains, or was that before 83?
With Smiley, that's when I first got introduced.
Okay.
And
what year do you think that was?
That was like 79, 80.
Okay.
That's when that's when I was just I was introduced to it. I mean, I wasn't really doing much. You know what I mean? I was just like, oh shit, this is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
When we moved from the South Bronx to the North Bronx, that's when I met Clark Fly D, Sloppy, and them guys. There was a lot of NPC dudes, and then that's when things changed. Like with Clark, he already had style, and then that's where my big style came from. That.
Mm. How did you meet Clark when you moved to the North Bronx? How did that introduction happen?
Well, it's kind of weird because I lived in a private house. They lived in a building up the block. So I met up with this kid named James, and he used to write Castell. He was pretty good himself. And then he invited me to their house, and that's when I actually first met Clark and all of them. This was a while ago, and that's when we became friends, and that's when actually the train was sort of like almost dying out. You know what I mean? That's when it was white.
Mm-hmm.
The white trains were out. That's when there's a lot of like COD dudes getting busy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It was really like a lot of graffiti going on the train. Zero was doing his thing. Those type of guys.
So basically, I mean, you get to meet up with a guy like Clark. I mean, that's pretty good luck. I mean, for you to just like be able to be in the room with a guy like Clark. Was he already established at this time when you met him?
That's when he first he was already doing his thing, but he was such a phenomenal artist. You know what I mean? Like just art, period. He was great. Like wow, you know what I mean? It just came like so easy for him. You know what I mean? And then for us, it was like, and then being it's like a circle when you with kids when you start picking up from each other, and like he was pretty much the leader. So like we picked up from him, and we got to do this, we got to that. So it was fun, man. It was a lot of fun stuff.
Who were some of the other kids that were like in that room with you and Clark?
Back then it was Sloppy. He's SLOPP, and then he broke it down to Slop. Mm-hmm. So Slop and Clark did a lot, and we were like the little ones. So we would follow them. You know what I mean? Like I had to work my way up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had to carry the pain, played around, and there was a lot of good times in the yards. And we used to do like handball courts and like Sousa. My friend I forgot the name of the brook, or Starlight. It's not even there no more. Starlight handball court, things like that, like these little hidden gems. You know what I mean?
And you would be doing these. Obviously, everything was done at night. Like you guys were going out bombing to do handball courts. You guys didn't have day spots like that, right?
What, day spots?
Yeah, I mean, was everything you mentioned? It was all bombing. All the handball courts, you did them late night.
Some of them you could have pulled off. You could have pulled. Matter of fact, the rooftop on 174th.
Okay.
We used to do that shit in broad daylight. Like at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We used to do the rooftop 2 and 5.
Okay.
That's how we met vet. We met
Oh,
Vet
really?
for the first time. Yeah, me and
What?
Clark met Vet for the first time.
What's that story? Was he up on that roof?
Well, it's kind of interesting because Clark was, yo, what's up, to take a ride, and we'll go around and see what he did. And then we actually took the two, was gonna get off and then hop off and get the picture. Meanwhile, Vet is on the rooftop going over him. He goes, oh shit, what's going on?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we hopped up and it was gonna go down, but then Vet was such a nice guy. He had a white dress shirt on with a leather tie. Hey, fellas, it's Saturday. And we became friends after that, man. It ended up pretty well.
Even though he was painting over Clark, it was all good.
Yeah. You know what? It was so weird the way he came out so proper. So I was like, oh my God, okay. And he's saying these big words, and it was like, all right, man, I'm gonna replenish the pain. Like, what the hell's replenish, bro? At that time, we didn't know what that meant. But his vocabulary is very, very good. Anyway, that's how we met him, and we're still friends to this day.
That's funny, man. That's cool. And so, when did 83 come through? And when it did, like, how did you first start writing? Like, what name did you start writing before everything else?
My first name?
Yeah.
Cave was given to me by Smiley. Cave.
Cave. Cave. Okay.
Cave.
Yeah, like you were like going into a cave. Like, why did Smiley give you that?
I don't know. He just said, "Yo, the name Cave." I said, "What about my name?" He said, "Yo, write Cave," and I used to write Cave. This is in elementary school, CS6. I used to write it in with pencil and in the bathroom or whatever. So
yeah, that was another thing I was wondering. Like, you're like a pretty young kid when you first meet Clark, right? How much older was Clark than you?
Clark was not that old. Clark was like about probably like 2 years older than me.
Oh, okay. So
back then, when you're 16, and then your buddy's 18.
Yeah.
That number sounds big.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
I'm 18 years old, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But how old were you when you first met Clark? You weren't 16. You were younger, right?
Oh man, it was like what? Damn, like what? 12 maybe?
Okay, yeah, exactly. And so was Clark 14 when you met him, basically? He's just
he was 14.
Okay, so you guys were all like youngsters. Yeah.
Yeah, we were little kids, man. We were still riding bicycles and all that.
Right. And but then you said Smiley gave you this name Cave. And then did he also kind of like school you on like just like how to go out bombing and how to put up tags?
No, because my parents were strict. So I had to just, go to the store.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm playing with the video game and come back, but I would not play the video game after that and just hang out with him. He was always by the newspaper stand. Always sitting down, always there.
And so you would just go hanging with him. And then what would he, what I'm always trying to get at is mentorship. Like people don't like bring anybody up anymore in graffiti, but like in your era, even my era, like they did, like we had someone that like taught us how to do this. And I'm wondering if Smiley was one of those guys that like blessed you with knowledge about how to get markers and how to like do insides without getting caught or whatever it was, like.
No, that was, I would say that would be Clark.
Okay.
That would definitely Clark, and he was the one that was in it heavy. And then, we was like, oh shit, then this is the guy to follow. And, the racking, we used to go racking and all that other stuff. So, we got to do that. So I always followed his lead.
Yeah. And so that means that by the time you met Clark, you had been doing graph like for a couple of years, it seems like, right? Like, cause Cave, Smiley gave you that tag Cave.
Right.
You had some time to like kind of work on style. So when you first met Clark, you told me that he had style already. Had you developed any style yet by the time you first met him?
At that time, oh boy, it was terrible. you know what I mean? I look at some of those stuff like, wow. But
sure,
it's classic.
Yeah.
But no,
yeah, of course.
He's the one that brought that style into it. I mean, like, oh shit, no, just do it like this, do it like that. And that's when things changed.
But also, and Clark must have seen something in you where he was like, oh yeah, this kid is good enough to hang around with us. This kid wants to get better. And so they like took you under their wing, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it was.
So how
But it
long?
was a lot more than just it was a lot more than just graffiti. We would go to our parents' houses, have dinner, and
Hmm.
like it was a good solid group of kids.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And we would go to each other's houses, so it was just all graffiti.
Yeah. So it was like a family thing in a way.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's dope. How long did you write Cave?
Not for much, not for long, because then we started contemplating on what name I would have.
Mm-hmm.
So we said, try to get a 3-letter. So I'm picking a 3-letter, and then a matter of fact, in math class, I remember in math class that's when I came up with Yes.
So, okay. And so like, let me just pull back a little bit. Like what was, why the 3-letter? Were there like certain 3-letter writers that were like really popular that everybody wanted to kind of emulate?
I don't know. I remember we had like this conversation. It was like, try to come up with a 3-letter. I remember why it came up, but they said, so I'm just thinking about what 3-letter name I could come up with. And I came up with that. And I think it was about more about saving paint. Like the less letters you do, the more paint you can use.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
That's interesting. Yeah. Cause I would have thought that you guys would have all tried to do 5-letter tags like Clark, so that's interesting that you wanted to go even smaller. And like you're in math class, like why Yes? I mean, I can imagine why you chose the name Yes, but like, can you tell us like why that name?
You know what? I remember it like yesterday. I was in Mr. Palmer's class in junior high school 135. And I was sitting there thinking about what we spoke about the day before. And I was like, I wrote Yes on the paper. And I said, you know what? I'm going to stay with Yes. And
yeah. I mean,
it just came to in math class. I'll never forget it. I said, you know what? Yes is my name. And it's always been there.
That's dope. And so then did you just go out and start bombing it? Or were you also still that strict family life? So you had to kind of keep things under wraps?
We started playing with Yes outlines and then, all right, you know what? We got to start developing a throw up. And then that's when I came up with throw up. It looked kind of weird in the beginning, but then it always, it's morphed into what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
And, first started playing with little simple styles and, I'm doing little pieces inside the schoolyards. And, at that time, it was weird that at that time we didn't care. We just did it and left. It wasn't all this, we got to cut back and clean up and all that. It was what it was and left, you know what I mean?
Yeah, which was a kind of a good time in graph, I would imagine, just like doing it like and not worrying about cleaning every corner and just all of that, And so you start writing Yes. Were you going out bombing early with Clark or like what was your sort of like bombing career like at the beginning?
We would go on runs. I mean, like we'll go on like on a weekend and we'll walk. Like we used to hit up Broadway all the way up and down. We used to go to downtown, like the Village area, like in spurts. You know what I mean? But with Clark was more like doing these simple style pieces first and this and that, and getting up in weird spots that nobody does. Mm-hmm. He was really good at that. Really good.
I was always curious too with you because like you draw, and so I'm interested in like if you've always been drawing, if you always sketched letters like from the very beginning, and if you were like a black book kind of kid.
In the beginning, yeah. Even in junior high school, the math class teacher, the other math class teacher, she actually from after I already had my name. I used to draw this alien b-boy, and then she loved it. So she had me do it for the class. So it was a big poster. For some reason, like what I did, they liked, and I always, like, was told, can you do math class for me? And then I'm like, sure. So so lettering, like came from like I would look at do like some simple stuff or whatever. So like
I want to see that alien b-boy because characters. I don't know your characters. I know your letters, but you still do you still draw characters?
Yeah, I put them down a while ago, and then because I like the classic old school type of character.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people do characters, their own way.
Yeah.
But I love the old school style character, like Serve, for example, like those style of characters. I love those. They're really it's done properly. You know what I'm saying? I love those.
So did your alien B-boy, did he have like big gazelles and like Kangles and like shell toes like that, like profiled
Actually,
out?
it's funny. the alien people, I remember him vaguely, but I know he had goggles on, you know, and the little circle mouth, and
Yeah.
you know the fingers and the sneakers, and I remember it was green, and he had like it was an alien dude, and yeah, I used to do it a lot, but then after a while, just you forget how to do stuff. Like old things, you can't redo them.
Of course, yeah. I still want to see that. Okay, so and then that's cool, but that's good. Interesting to hear though that you had like some encouragement in school for your letters and for your characters, and just like for the graffiti on a whole. So that's interesting because that that encouragement must have kind of kept you going forward. So now it's 83. You're writing Yes. And I'm guessing that you were progressing, right? And you're hanging out with guys like Clark, which tells me that you're getting to see like a real master working on his craft, and you're getting to sit like right next to him. And I'm interested in like when you guys went, because you said you went on these runs. What was your like preferred way to get up back then? Were you into markers, or were you always carrying spray paint when you would like go down to the village, for instance?
You know what? It was a lot of everything. You know what I mean? We would have our little dancing sessions in the house, and then we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this handball court, and then like a lot of times we didn't paint. Clark would do it, and we would watch and this and that, and then all right, man, you'll try to do this, then he'll initiate it, and then like, all right, then he'll fix it, whatever, or fine. And it was pretty cool how he did it, because then he's like giving us hands-on, but with with guidance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we did a lot of West Side Highway. Man, it was a lot of them. We did a lot of shit. but yeah, he was definitely the dude to like choreograph everything.
Yeah, of course. And what about painting like the subways? Because I mean, I don't know how much time you got to spend in the yards painting trains.
Well, we caught it at the end,
right,
when it was like 9, and that's like Esplanade and Baychester, those places. And like I said, I was a little guy, so I carried paint.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Even the layouts between, like, say, Tunnel Park all the way down almost to Gun Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Used to be laid up. My house used to be right by the 2 train, so I would call them and be like, "Yo, this is a layup." And then work, so it's laid up, and then sometimes I wouldn't make it out, but they'll go out and they'll do it. I mean?
But so because it was the end, they were like that. You were catching the tail end of the graph scene on trains. Were things going to the streets more? Was that just what was happening, like handball courts and just bombing?
You know what? At that time, the streets weren't that bombed.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember. It was there, but not heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But once they shut it down, that's when all these like early 90s and late 80s bombers came, and that's when shit was getting wrecked.
Yeah, but at this time, like 80, let's just say 84, 85, where were you primarily painting? Like, where did you get up the most?
Well, we should do like I said, like the handball court in Sousa, which is all the way by Baychester.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty hidden place. Like I said, Starlight, we should do that. 174 by the tracks on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
All these little hidden spots. You know what I'm saying? That that it'll live. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like, I know you said you would go down on these runs to go like catching tags down in Soho or downtown or whatever in the village. Would you leave the Bronx to do pieces, or did you keep most of your piecing up in the area where you were living because you had your spots?
Well, most of it was concentrated in the Bronx, but a lot of it was when we used to venture out, like to the Lower East Side and stuff like that. Soho, you know what I mean? Like the little cutty spots in between alleys and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
All and everything was illegal, and even the Bruckner. we did the Bruckner. Yeah, it was like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, broad daylight.
Yeah. What was that story? Who'd you go with? Do you remember?
I was a clerk.
Just you and
And
Clark?
I didn't even know. I didn't even know.
Wow.
He had me doing it. As a matter of fact, Cento was there. A couple other, I think it was Cavs. That was a long time ago. And we did the matter of fact that night we did the house, the little train house off of Tremont, between Tremont and 180th. That was a little scary.
I don't even know that. What is it?
You know, it's like when, matter of fact, when the 2 and 5, when it pulls out of Tremont, going down uptown, then there's a little house. I don't know what it was there. It was old, and you know, we just did it, painted it, and left.
That was you and Clark, and you said Cento was there.
No, the central one that was in.
That was the Bruckner.
Off the Bruckner.
Okay, yeah.
We met up with them like later on that morning.
So, you know, something I'm always curious about is like when back in those days, like, I mean, you said some things where it's kind of like it was just life, and it sounds like you guys were living for the moment. Like you would do a piece, and you wouldn't have to clean it up, whatever. You would just do it and be done and go. Did you have any kind of like idea that like this graph thing could be something that you could keep doing, like you would sustain it? I mean, I know you couldn't have thought that you'd be doing it in 2017, but I do wonder if in the mid 80s, like if you saw like a thing like this was going to happen for a while, or if you were just living for the moment.
Be honest with you, it was for the moment, man. I didn't think because, you know, graffiti was so frowned upon. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, my parents, you know what I mean? Like when I got caught in 180th trying to do a throw up in broad daylight and got caught. You know, my father came to the precinct in 180th. I don't know what the hell he told the cop, but they let me go. I caught the beating of my life going back home.
Damn. Yeah.
He threw everything away. Every single can I had, he threw away. Mark.
Oh, wow, really?
And I was like, fuck, I'm going to get some more, man. Yeah. So.
How'd that go down? Where were you? Said you were on 180th doing a throwy? Yeah,
I was being a little knucklehead. I wondered, those are called floaters when you catch the train on the right there on the platform.
Okay.
So did that, and then I was pulled out the can, ready to do it. Started. I was, hey, what are you doing? Oh, fuck. I couldn't go nowhere.
Oh,
I was caught. But you know what? I'd rather that happen. Now you get caught. They put you through the system and everything.
Right.
Back then, you know what I mean? I even got sprayed on my jacket. I was taking a tag, going up Boston Road. Cop was like, hey, what are you doing? I said, oh, shit. Come here. Grabbed me. Sprayed my leather jacket all up.
Oh, damn.
Threw the cannon back at me and told me to get the fuck out of here.
Oh, wow.
I'll take that anyway. Yeah, nowadays they fuck you up.
Yeah, right. Okay, so you got bagged because you were being kind of bold. Dad threw away all your stuff, but that didn't stop you. You went out. You went because you were already doing your thing. You knew how to rack. You knew how to get all your supplies. So after that incident of getting arrested, that didn't slow you down. You just kept going.
Yeah, I was a knucklehead. I mean, when you're that young, you feel invincible. Like, yeah, whatever. You just, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you're in rebellion mode. You know, your parents can't stop you.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, going out there and just, it was more like fun.
Yeah.
You know, it was just fun and, you know.
I wonder how much of like a daily thing graffiti was for you early on. Was it like that? Was it an everyday thing? Drawing, sketching, catching tags, planning a wall? Did it consume you? Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, man. To when I had my daughter. When I had my daughter, that's when I stopped.
Oh, really? Okay.
I stopped for a while.
What year was that?
My daughter was like 91, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
and so
91?
So before that though, so let's go back a little bit. Like basically, like you said, you started writing in 83.
Right.
You came up with Yes, and you pushed that for a while. Like when was like in the years before 91, when would you say that like the year you did the most graph, like you were going out the most?
You know what? I can't remember.
Okay.
I used to smoke a lot of weed back then too. So,
but it was a daily thing all the way up until you had your daughter, basically.
Yeah. When I had my daughter, priorities changed.
Of course.
And I was still sketching. You know what I mean? That's when these guys were like booming. Like they really things were just happening. Like the FX crew was
Right.
running off. They were doing their thing. Task crew was getting busy. You know, you had guys in Brooklyn doing their thing. Like it was a big boom. You know what I mean? But I put the can down for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then
and how long? When you say a little while, like how long did you stop to kind of like check your priorities?
I think I did a few things here and there, nothing major. And then I would say about 99, 2000, around there. That's when I started. You know what? Then
you started that comeback.
We talked to each other. Then I started. You know what? And when I came back, everything changed. There was no more Krylon. There was no more Rust-Oleum.
Right.
No, there was with the American accents. It was new paint. I mean, that's when I first came back, I used Montana Black for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And all these new caps and all this new stuff. And I was like, oh shit, okay. And then I tried my best, but it looked like shit. But what can you do?
Well, okay, so I'm interested to go back to, because like there was a real, like basically, like you said, FX and Tats and these crews, they were like really starting to change the whole game. Like the whole graph game was changing. It was getting bigger. Everything was getting more like concept driven, like huge productions. Right. And that was a time when you cut it. 91. Like that was a real, I would say, kind of a golden era in New York graph, late 80s to early 90s. So right. I'm guessing, and you have almost 10 years in the culture already by the time you take a break. Was it hard for you, or was it an easy choice because of your child, or was it kind of like every day you were like, damn, I wish I was out there?
You know what? When I had my daughter, I didn't think about it much.
Mm-hmm.
But then when they would call me to come out and see what's going on, then when I met Dan and Hesh for the first time, and I seen them doing this amazing new stuff, I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And then I was like, what the fuck? And I started seeing all these productions going up. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, it was mind blowing. Then I remember when Clark had did something in the village, and you gotta go check it out. And when I went and I saw it, I was like, wow, man, yo, this is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't really pay much mind to what was going on anymore. But then when I would pop up and see what's going on, and I was like, "Fuck!" Like the Mac crew, I went to see them one time, and I was like, "Fuck, this is like amazing." And so I started drawing again a little bit, but then
that's what I was wondering. I was wondering if from 91 to 99, 2000, like if you would. I mean, you said you did some things here and there. What did that mean? Like, would you go out every few years and put something down?
Yeah. Like if when the opportunity was available, they would say you want to come through and drop a little something, and that was it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then, but it wasn't like consuming. It wouldn't take over your life. Like you would just go do it. It was fun. You'd hang out, and then it would be done. Right.
Right. That kind of thing.
But then were you also paying attention throughout those like almost 10 years? Like it's hard to, I feel like graph writers, once you spend years looking at graph, you can't look away. Even if you said you've quit, it's like you still see it. You know what I mean? Like our eyes are trained to look at certain parts of the wall and certain places in the train. Right. You know what I mean? So were you seeing it all throughout the 90s?
Well, I would see, like I lived right behind the 2 and 5, so I will always see the train. I will always let the trains pass by. And like I said, these guys give me a call, come through, and I will come and see. And then like I would like, fuck, man, shit, I want to do that too. You know what I mean? So yeah, I missed it, man. I was always drawing. I was always still drawing something, or always take a tag on something. It was always there.
Yeah.
Like that. Plus, when we go into clubs. That time, I was doing a lot of clubbing, like Red Zone, Studio 54, Palladium. I was a club head. It was still taking tags. I always had a marker with me.
Okay.
So
what was it in 1999? Like what made you say, oh yeah, I'm gonna go back into this. I'm gonna pick this back up.
Well, Clark had gave me a call, and then they was doing a war, and then he was gracious enough to give me a spot. And there was a meeting of styles, and on Boom. And our buddy from Arizona came down, sir, so he was there, and I paid through rap for the first time, and it was a cool one. He gave me the chance, to he opened the door for me like again. I mean, like, yo, come on, this and that, and I appreciate it. You know what I mean? And then from there, I was like, you know what, I want to do this. So, and from there, that's when it opened up to who I am now.
And so what did you, like you had mentioned, like everything changed, like paint changed, caps changed. I mean, people's opinions of graffiti had changed a lot throughout that 10 years, like all of a sudden in the early 2000s, corporations started wanting it. You could see it like Mountain Dew or whatever, these companies are starting to take little nibbles on the graph. Did that also make you think, oh, okay, like this thing is more acceptable. And this thing also has like maybe the ability for people to make money?
Well, yeah, I saw that the graffiti culture was being accepted.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like in these big, corporate, things that they wanted. Now they're trying to invest money, through our art. You know what I mean? And I think that was a big up, man. That was a big up because hip hop has been almost, around almost the same time, and they're already in it. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're getting, sponsorships and all this other stuff, and getting big bucks. Why not graffiti?
Yeah, no, definitely, and they did. I mean, and then now it's crazy how much they're just kind of sucking the life out of the culture. But in '99. Also, I'm really interested in that experience of you using like Montana for the first time, because that is, when I first got Belton, it was such a game changer compared to Krylon and Rusto. And I know you must have had the same experience, right? Because we all had that same experience the first time you get European paint. Did it also, you didn't like that first piece? Is that what you said? That you when you first came back, it wasn't good?
It was all right.
Yeah.
It was, Surf was actually kind of shocked that oh shit, your outline is coming out good, bro. And then I'm like, hey,
okay.
So he gave me a little vote of confidence.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, man. But all in all, it was fun. Being with the fellas and the experience of painting the wall. Everybody just starts trash talking and this and that. And,
yeah.
It's just fun, man. It's a good time.
Yeah. And who else is on that wall? You said it was like a meeting of styles. The homie came from Phoenix or from Arizona, and you said that Clark was there. Who else is on that wall?
Oh, I can remember. I know Wrath was there. It was me, Wrath.
Wrath from COD?
Yeah.
Dope. Okay.
UPS COD. There's a bunch of us, man. Who else is on it? Clark, Wrath, I think Ribs. Yeah, I can't remember.
Okay, but there was like a good group of people there, and I mean, and that must have also been encouraging as well, right? Like the community thing. You're like, oh yeah, like there's these are a bunch of friends, and that's another good reason to get back into doing graph, because that's always been like a thing for me, is like building like community and like having homies that are doing it and being able to have those relationships. And it's the same thing now, and it just keeps growing.
Yeah.
And so that's it's also interesting that you came back at sort of the dawn of the internet era of like graffiti. And I wonder if in 99, 2000, if that was anywhere on your radar yet. Were you online?
I didn't know shit about computers, man.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that was most people, definitely.
I didn't know shit about computers. And then on my side, seeing everybody was getting computers. This was happening now.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, through my union, they had given me a computer.
Oh, okay.
So, and I'm lucky that my neighbor, I call him Kramer because he comes up all the time. He pretty much showed me a little bit, and I'm like, oh, this is what it's about. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So then I started learning about the sites and stuff like that. Like the same things back then, and all those other graffiti sites and all that stuff. So. That was interesting.
Yeah, and before we had the internet, like, because actually a lot of the people listening to this interview are internet era kids. Like they don't know graph before the internet, and so like for us, it was like magazines is like where we used to kind of see stuff from all over the world. And I know that was also a time when you were taking this break. 91 to 99 was like a big magazine kind of era.
Oh yeah.
Were you seeing those? Were you seeing graph mags throughout that time when you took a break?
Yeah, I picked up a few. I picked up a few of those magazines. I forgot the names of them, but I picked up a few of those magazines. And also, pen pals with guys from like overseas and stuff like that.
Oh, really? So you were trading flicks. Who were you trading with?
Lumit.
Oh, you were trading with Lumit. Okay.
Right.
Dope.
We had his address and he would send us pictures of Lumit.
Dope.
Well, he's larger than life now, but yeah, that's when.
Yeah. Well,
young.
I mean, even back then, Lumit. I mean, or in the '90s, I was like, yo, Lumit was the man. Yeah, like I was saying, for us in San Francisco, we didn't know what was happening like around the world. The only way we could see what was going on was through graph mags. I mean, eventually, we saw Art Crimes and there were a couple other websites where we could see graffiti. But for the most part, we would just wait for that next, Back Jumps or Scribble or whatever the magazine was. And so it was kind of the same for you. You were trading with Lumit, so you saw European stuff from him, but you were also catching some magazines, so you knew what was going on.
Yeah, there was a few magazines. I don't remember the names, but just picked up a few magazines. Oh shit, look at this guy. Or this guy, like, everybody's getting busy, and I was like, oh shit, like guys like the sports crew that were cool with us, like Psycho and Gaze and Subs.
Yeah.
Them guys.
And like, what about even further out? Like, I mean, I would see like pieces from Mexico and pieces from Brazil. Like, I mean, do you remember like starting to see stuff all around the world and having any kind of feelings like, oh wow, like this graph thing is spreading everywhere and it came from right here? Do you remember having those kind of moments of thoughts?
Yeah, well, that book, not Subway Art, Spray Can Art.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Spray Can Art was a good one because it showed an international view.
Yeah, definitely.
Of other guys from away, and like, oh shit, yo, this thing is nice. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And like, what were your thoughts on that? I mean, did it make sense to you, or was it were you surprised that graph was spreading all over the world?
No, I wasn't surprised, man, because it was the vibe that New York that New York is is just strong, man, and it's international, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, the Bronx, to me, the South Bronx is the mecca of all this stuff, and it came out of there and it spread. And to me, it was an honor to see these guys wanted to do what we started. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I felt kind of good to see that, man. Oh wow, that's dope, man. Those guys are doing it over there too. Yeah,
that's a cool way to look at it. I've had some people say that, they didn't appreciate that. And I think it's great that you could look at it that way, because I think that's the truth. It's like, I think that it is when you see somebody in the middle of, I don't know, like Egypt doing a piece, it's like, that's honoring original New York,
man,
original American graffiti,
That's a big up. That's a big up. That means that they follow what we're doing and they're continuing it. I mean, on the way they do it over there.
Yep. That's right. Yeah. It's definitely that. Thing, it's an honor. It's a continuation. I mean, which makes me wonder, I don't know. It makes me wonder about YES2, the homie YES2. And like, did you, you're obviously YES1. When YES2 came out, because this is a thing that comes up I don't get to talk about this with many people because not a lot of my guests have someone with the same name. When YES2 came out, did you have discussions with him? Did you guys meet up and clarify things?
Yeah, we did. We did meet up. We did. We were actually going to, I forgot the name of that place, but it was a tunnel that there was a latch in the 59th Street Bridge. And you go down like 2 stories down.
Okay.
And it was a bunch of us. And we were meeting up, I think, at 174th. And it was me, Clark, Sess. I think it was Bomb 5. Who else was there? I forgot who else there. We actually were going to do the handball court at CS6 first before we headed out. And then we got the cops chased us out of there. And then we met up at 170 on Tremont right after that. From there, we all boom. We went to the train. We were supposed to meet up with YES2. We were supposed to meet up with matter of fact, Cycle, Subs, and Gage, with the sports crew.
Wow.
And then Clark told me, listen, I'm gonna meet up with YES2, this and that. It'd be cool. No problem. And then I sat down with him in 57th Street on a little bench. We spoke briefly, shook hands. All right, well, let's go. And then we all had a good time.
And so, what'd you guys do that night? Did you all painted together?
Yeah, we did those tunnels.
That's dope. And so the conversation that you guys had, how did it go? I mean, it was just like, we're both going to write yes.
I can't, like I said, I just smoke weed back then, so
Okay.
some shit is out of a blur. But I do remember we sat down and spoke briefly. We was like, all right, man, cool. And then we just all got together and went. Matter of fact, they posted a tag. That tag is still living. YES1, YES2. I think that was in 94. YES1, YES2, and they took a tag of it and they sent it to me. And that shit is still down there.
That's dope. And so he showed respect. There was no disrespect at all, and you guys were on some equal
it was cool.
place.
It was cool. It was 100. You know, once in a while, I see him, we'll talk. What's up, bro? How you been? Nah, he's a good dude, and
yeah, and he's got style.
Him,
yeah, definitely.
He's very good. He's good. He's a good painter. He's good.
No doubt. Okay, and so I'm just always curious about that. So it's interesting to be able to get that story from you and to just know that you were chill. Also, you were in a break. That was during the time that you were kind of not like going all out. So do you think that added to you? Did that make it you a little bit more chill with someone writing the same name as you? Basically, you think?
You know what? Maybe, because maybe if I was more passionate, like really hardcore, maybe the outcome would have been different. But, I just had my daughter, so I was in a different, my mindset was different. And, and plus, it was a circle of people that were cool.
Yeah.
And, I want to be like, the asshole of the group, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But it worked out well, man. And like I said, man, the dude he's a great guy, nice guy.
Yeah, definitely. And I just wanted to touch on that for a second because we were talking about like history and respect and the graphs spreading all around the world and everything. So I wanted to just add that in. So then let's jump back then to this 99, 2000 when you come back. Did you come out slow? When you did that Meeting of Styles wall with Clark, or did you come out like gangbusters? Like, you're going to do this. Like, everything is new. Your daughter's more grown. Maybe you had the ability to have more paint or whatever.
Honestly, I didn't know where I was at the time. I didn't know whether I wanted to keep doing this or I was half and half. You know what I mean? Like what am I going to do? Like I didn't really I was indecisive still at that time.
Yeah. Yeah, and how did it feel like coming back to this graph scene where a lot of your friends, they didn't stop for those 10 years. They just kept going.
They were doing their thing.
Yeah. I mean, was that like a little intimidating for you that you had had to play catch up a little bit?
No, I never felt intimidated. I felt like, you know what, I need to find my groove. I need to find my groove. I mean, I didn't want to depend on nobody. Because you know what? When you're going out and you're doing that thing, I don't want to be like, yo, what should I do? I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll try to figure it out on my own. And I started networking and coming back on the scene. Yo, what's up with this and that? And then I reconnected with Jew, which I knew Jew for years. Jew BT, and then I started hanging out with them a little more, and then they opened up the door for me to do some things like Jew, Pace, Abe, and them guys. And I owe them a lot too, because then they gave me more time to really catch up. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So them guys, BT, they get a big up for me.
That's dope. And then then how did things progress? Like in 2000, 2001, because I mean, that was also an era where, after 9/11, I know that a lot of New York writing just stopped. I mean, you couldn't go bombing as easily. I've said this story before that I was talking with my man Setup on the phone one day. And I said to him, yo, I was like, we're going to go bombing tonight. And he went crazy. He was like, yo, man, don't fucking say that on the phone. I was like, oh shit. You're right. I hadn't thought of that,
Yeah.
It was October 2011. And I was like, oh shit, you're right, dude. We can't be talking like that. So do you remember during your comeback, the city changed, and the graph scene
definitely.
changed.
Yeah. The whole thing, everything changed. But I knew the etiquette. I mean, from the beginning, you know what I mean? Like for example, when people call each other by their government names, I still feel uncomfortable with that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because we was always taught with Clark, I knew him as a brother.
Yeah.
So I knew his first name, but I never, while we're at a war with other people, saying his first name. You know what I'm saying? Some people call me, hey, what's up? And they say my name. I feel funny when that's my name, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, bro, what's going on? You know? But I guess it's cool now because everybody just says their names. Hey, what's up, Gary? What's up, Dave? And I'm like, all right. You know, some writers still don't like that. You know what I mean? So
yeah. No, I definitely noticed that because I'm the guy that's always trying to use people's first names because I just feel more like I'm 41. Sometimes being 41 years old and I'm calling a dude, you know, whatever, like his graffiti name. Like every once in a while, I'm just like, damn, I wouldn't introduce him to my mother as his graffiti name. I would say this is Joe. Right. You know what I mean? Anyway, so that was one thing that changed. I mean, a lot had changed, you know, and I guess I just wonder, like, how did you like? I don't know. Did you have like a vision for what would happen in 2000 or 2001 with your graffiti? Or was it kind of like back in the day where you were just going to start doing it again?
Not at all. You know what really hooked me up is my job.
Oh, word? How?
Yeah, I'm a superintendent of a commercial building. So the owners are gracious enough to give me space, you know, and then for some reason, that space there is where I create. And then from there, I would stay for hours and hours and try to, you know, it's like you're your own product. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, whatever you put has to be quality. If it's not quality, don't do it.
So wait, tell me about this. What do you mean they gave you space?
I started, you know, getting back into graffiti a little bit, and then I had, you know, it's like a studio. You know what I mean? So
wow.
it is my studio now, and you know, they were gracious enough to let me have it.
Dang.
So it's like my home away from home.
That's amazing. You know? Like do you have free studio space?
Yes, I do.
Wow, dude. That's amazing. And that's because like you've worked for this building for a long time and the owners they just liked you and hooked you up. Yeah,
I was a little nervous in the beginning because, you know, I started growing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, hanging up stuff and this and that. So I remember the day when the big owner came downstairs and he walked through and I said, oh man, he looked around. He's like, oh, I kind of like this kid. Well, what is this? I said, no, you know, I'm an artist, Bob. He goes, oh, all right, then just keep doing it. Oh my God, that weight was lifted. I was like, thank God.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you know, thank God that you know, he could have been like, yo, take this shit down.
Yeah, no.
You're big up to him, man. My boss is a good dude.
Sounds really good, man. And they're like supporting you. They're supporting your art. That's amazing. Yeah. So like in the building that you work as a super, you also have your own private space where you have a studio.
Yeah. Most of the stuff that I do, canvas work, cutouts, you know, stuff like that, it all comes from there.
That's dope. And so, when did that happen? What year?
I was saying like, yeah, about the early 2000s.
Okay, that's so when you're about to make a comeback, you get this opportunity to have a space to make your art. That's huge. I mean, like that's massive. You know, to be able to have a space. So then, how did things progress? Like in the early 2000s, was it like would you piece whenever you could, or did you start spending more time planning? Because also you've gotten older and you have like a family. Like how did you balance it all?
Well, I ended up getting a divorce, so that was good and bad. But,
okay, yeah, okay.
That also opened my mind. You know, it was rough in the beginning, whatever, but it opened my mind to more to my art and focusing on what am I going to do here? Do I want to take it serious or do I want to just be anybody? I didn't want to just be just anybody. I wanted to be something, and really more so for myself. And I just kept producing, and I've been getting a lot of good feedback, and I really appreciate it. And you know, I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful for the position that I am in now, and I want to just keep going. You know what I'm saying? Just see what's next.
You know, and that's great. And I think actually like this is a good place for us to take a pause because like now, you know, we got to cover 79 when you met Smiley up until basically this comeback, which begins in the early 2000s. And on top of that, like not only are you ready to do it, but you have this big life change where you have a divorce, which frees up probably a lot of your time in certain ways. And you also have a studio to like make your art. And so I feel like it must have been an interesting new time for you to like switch gears and really do it. And now it's been 16 years later, whatever. And here you are, you're like rocking. So yeah, like I said, I think this is where we take a break. And then, man, will you come back like in, a few months and we can talk about the last 17 years?
Sure, man.
Dope.
Sure.
Dope. Let's do that. And because, I don't want to try to rush through any of that right now.
Okay.
Especially because, people listening, they're just going to maybe they're learning about you for the first time. And so we don't want to give them too much. Will you actually tell those people, where can we find your work? I know you're on Instagram. You're pretty active there. What's your account there?
YES1 is YES, the O is a 0 and E.
0 and E. And that's on Instagram. Are you on Facebook?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook.
Is that the same account? Yes, 0 and E.
Yeah, you'll find me under because you'll find me on Facebook. Just type it, just one, it'll come up.
Cool, man. Yeah, because we have a lot of listeners, I think, that don't know some of our guests, a lot of new people. So definitely go check out this man's page. He's just got ill work there. And you just it keeps getting better, man. So again, dude, I really appreciate having you on and just for taking the time out to kind of chop it up with us. So man, really appreciate it. We're blessed.
Now, big up to you for having me. And like I said, I do this for the love. I love the craft, and it's like I said, man. It's always about what's next.
That's it. That's a good way to end it, man. Appreciate it. Yes. Thanks, homie.
All right, brother.
My Life in Letters is looking to grow and expand our team. If you think you're right to collaborate and partner with us, please drop us a line at either mylifeinletterspodcast@gmail.com or send us a direct message at our Instagram page at My Life in Letters Podcast. My Life in Letters is recorded live in Bushwick, Brooklyn, USA. Our sponsor is sprayplanet.com. Our producer is Christopher Piccioni. Our videographer is Jordan Miller for Way Up Creative. Our intern is Jessica Magar. Our theme music is by Fonte, and my name is Adam Fujita. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. Peace.
The language of letters.